Hello, everybody. I'm Cedric. I'm here with Gerardo. I've talked a lot about him, and I'm very proud of him. I just wanted to introduce him to some of my friends since everybody's heard so much about him. And Gerardo, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, first off, Cedric, I just want to just say thank you for reaching out to me, and I'm thankful for the opportunity to be able to sit down with you and discuss for your listeners, to hopefully engage them and hopefully help them out in any way I possibly can. But yeah, a little bit about myself is that I'm 22 years old. I was raised and born here in Houston, Texas. I am the youngest of 4 sisters. I became an entrepreneur at the age of 19 after I lost my job, my comfort zone. That's what I call it. And I decided to open up my own business when I was about 19. And I, one of the things that I kind of want to get clear, right from the bat is that being an entrepreneur, owning your own business, no joke, it's tough. It's like a war every single day. I mean, you are on you're on the battleground every single day. Mm-hmm. But when I first started my business, I started with, trying to maximize all my credit cards. All my savings, I spent it. And I thought that the first day I opened my business that, everything was just kind of just flow into place, and that's not even close. That's what happened. But yeah, I have my own business. We're currently about to start franchising, this following year in 2019. So I'm extremely excited about that. I'm currently in a relationship with Jocelyn, who's behind the camera. And yeah, I consider myself extremely blessed, above all. Don't get me wrong, I have my hard times, I have my downfalls, as I have my ups, but I do consider myself blessed.
Well, you are. One reason I brag on you a lot is I remember when I first saw you at Starbucks, and I remember you was selling Herbalife.
Yeah.
And to see where you came from there to see where you are now, I remember you seemed so nervous when you first approached me, and I asked you questions about, hey, had you heard of Think and Grow Rich? And I ended up giving you that book. Mm-hmm. And we ended up having conversations after that. And to see you go from, like, you didn't seem like you were too sure of yourself, but I see you now, and I walk in here, and I'm like, goodness, you look like a grown man. So
it's the beard, man.
It's the beard. But I'm just curious because I meet so many people, they'll tell me, hey, man, I want to do this. And my goodness, if I had the chance, I would do that. But you actually did it.
Yeah, it's, again, it's, and I do remember that day clear as, I remember that exact moment when I walked into that Starbucks. I think it was about, 17?
Yes.
Yeah, I was 17. I walked in and at that time, Starbucks was extremely busy, mm-hmm. and every single seat was taken except the one in front of you. Mm-hmm. And I do remember that, I opened the door, and you're sitting there, in your Army uniform, and and I approach you, and I say hi, and I think you said, hey, I'm not interested. I said, well, I'm not trying to sell you anything. I just wanted to, just say hi. And it kind of shocked you a bit, I think, from the looks of your face. You're like, huh. So I went to grab my coffee, came back and said, hey, can I sit right here? And that's when, you close your laptop and you started talking to me, and we just kind of hit it off. And I think we spoke for about 2 hours that day, and I do remember that conversation where you gave me the book, Think and Grow Rich. I'd never heard of that book before. But man, that book, you weren't kidding, when you said that it's going to open up, your mind. And so I'm so thankful for that, man. But to answer your question, you asked, how did I come from that to this?
Yeah.
Cedric, sometimes, man, I ask myself that question all the time. I don't really see myself as this person like that's like, that has it all, or that's successful, or that has all the answers, because I don't, and I'm not that person. I have friends that tell me, how do you do it? Like, how do you stay so motivated and so just consistent of what you're doing? And I tell them, like honestly, there's no magic to it. It's just you just get up and you just do it. You just keep walking forward. You keep one foot in front of the other. And don't get me wrong, I've came across a lot of setbacks during that time. But at the same time, like, you have to let those circumstances and those things just kind of I guess, influence you in a way to thrust you forward.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people, they keep, like, they stay back because of all their situations, their problems, their family, their spouse, their kids, etc. But the reality is that all you got to do is just get up and just go, just do it. You know, like, you know, a lot of people, they want that magic answer. They want that exact formula of, okay, how do I do it? Like, what am I supposed to do at this time? Hey, look, like, I listen to, to a speaker, and he always says, every day, at the end of the day, write down 5 things that you have to complete tomorrow.
Nice.
If you complete those 5 things, you won the day. If you didn't, you lost the day. So that way, a month from now, you can review your performance, saying, okay, how many days did I win? Now, how many days did I lose? So that way, if you have a bad week, you know, and then weeks turn into months, and then at the end of the year, you say, well, you know, why did I have a crappy year? Well, because you didn't complete, your months. You didn't basically, you weren't proactive during that time to complete those 5 things, those 5 daily tasks. You know, if you can complete 5 daily tasks, like, you just don't have it.
Okay. I dig it. All right. So what are some struggles you've gone through that nobody knows about?
Oh, man. So in this office that right now we're interviewing in, which is my office at my gym, I actually slept here for about 9 months when I first opened my business. And the reason why I don't really share that story is because, to be quite frank, man, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. I don't like for people. I don't say it for people to have sympathy for me, but I say that to say this, that it's definitely it's so hard to make it in business. It's so hard because so many different factors come into play when you open up your doors for business. There's a lot of things that come into your way. There's so many circumstances that will honestly beat the crap out of you if you don't know how to take the hits. So that's one of the things that I sacrificed, that a lot of people don't know about me when I first started, was that I slept in my office for 9 months. Another thing is that a year ago, around October of 2017, I honestly thought that I was going to lose the business. I wanted completely out. I didn't want to do it anymore. It was just too much. I felt that I lost myself.
Okay.
Like, I didn't know who Gerardo was. In my relationship, it was falling apart. With my family, it was falling apart. I didn't have any friends. I was losing clients left and right because I wasn't handling my business and I wasn't being consistent enough. And so, during that time, I remember, when I talked to you over a year ago, I remember that there was one time, I'm a huge man of God. I put God in front of everything. I am where I am because of Him, and only because of Him. And I remember, I was it was actually a Thursday. It was my dad's birthday, and I wanted to leave work early to go, and be with him. But I felt that it wasn't because of that. I felt that I just couldn't be here anymore. Okay. I was using that as an excuse. Okay. I just felt I couldn't be in the business anymore. So I leave, and I go to my church. And I ask my pastor, and I say, hey, is Pastor Mike here? And they say, no, I'm sorry. Or, hey, is the other pastor here? And they said, no, there's no pastors here right now. Is there something I can help you with? And I said, no, And I remember I told myself, I cannot leave with all this inside of me. Like, I have to leave. I have to leave it here. Okay. So I remember I go into the auditorium, where they have service, and there was nobody there. It was just me. And I remember I kneeled down, in front of the steps, before going onto the stage. And I remember I was just bawling, like I was just crying, like I was telling myself, like, God, like, you told me to do this, like I followed your word, like you told me that this was for me, like, why are you leaving me now? I felt I was alone. Okay. And I remember it was something in my heart, Cedric, and like nobody else will feel this except me, because I felt it. But I hope that people, your listeners and also mine can really feel what I'm about to say. And I felt like if God Himself told me, if you fill up the gym with equipment, I'll fill it up with people. And, the later that day, I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, you know what? I said, F it, you know. I said, I'm going to go all in, you know.
Okay.
If I end up being broke, then, you know, then so be it.
I like it.
You know?
Okay.
And so I went all in, you know. I saved up. I pretty much spent everything that I had. I sold everything I could to be able to buy, you know, brand new equipment. So all my old and used equipment for brand new equipment. And thankfully, because of that, people started showing up.
Okay. You know, Gerardo, you actually helped me. I asked you, because you may have made a shift, and I called you, and you said, Cedric, this is what I'm doing now. And it was totally different than something you were doing earlier. And I said, what did you do? And you told me you did something for 30 days. Would you mind sharing that?
Yeah, I did. I actually fasted for 30 days. You know, I've never fasted a day in my life. To be quite frank, I didn't even know that was real or that was even possible. I just know that people do it, you know, out of faith to kind of say, hey, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice this for this period of time because, you know, I want to be blessed by this, you know? And yeah, you know, I fasted, you know, for those 30 days and it was crazy. You know, after those 30 days, you know, people just started coming left and right. I mean, I was like, I told Josh, I was like, man, I cannot believe. I'm like, man, I'm gonna fast for a year. I don't care, you know. I'll do it. You know, but yeah, you know, it was. I think it wasn't about the fast. It was about stepping out in faith and saying, like, hey, you know what? Look, I enjoy doing this, but I'm gonna sacrifice not doing this because I believe in you so much that I know that you're gonna bless me in this area. You know, and a lot of business owners, you know, they don't get into that. They think that it's because of luck, or they think it's because of this or that. I'm like, hey, look, man, like people have their religions, and I get it. You know, people have, you know what they believe in, and that's cool. You know, do you? That's what I believe. You know, just do you. Right. But I think what really changed, Cedric, was that I stopped being selfish.
Okay.
I was so like into like, well, what's in it for me? Like I gotta get something out of it. I gotta get something out of it. When I was like, if I'm in business, I'm here to help people. I'm here for my customers. I have to be here for them. I have to sacrifice for them. You know, so giving back more to them, that's when I started basically receiving more for me. And I mean, it's an awesome thing.
Yes, sir. All right, man. I'm getting fired up. All right. So what would you tell someone that wants to start a business but doesn't know what to do?
You know, one of the conversations I was having with Jocelyn yesterday, you know, and we typically have like, you know, serious conversations maybe like every month or every other month, you know, where we sit down and we talk for hours, you know, and we're just talking. And I was asking her, you know, what do you enjoy doing? Like what do you want to do? And I asked her, like, if money wasn't a problem for you, if money wasn't an issue, you know, where all your bills are paid, you've built several businesses, you know, but money's not an issue, what would you be doing? You know, and a lot of people, they don't know how to answer that question. True. You know, I think number one is that whatever you do enjoy doing, like if you could do something for free, what would it be? And do that.
That's right.
You know, you have to enjoy what you do, because if you don't,
mine is writing. That's why I write all the time.
Yeah. You know, if you don't enjoy doing it, then, you know, like when circumstances and hardships and different difficulties and challenges and obstacles come your way, like you're not going to be able to survive through the storm. So you have to love what you do.
How old are you?
22.
Dude. Okay, go ahead.
I know, right?
That's good stuff.
Yeah, so you really have to enjoy what you do. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Just because you enjoy what you do does not mean that you're going to hate what you do sometimes. Because trust me, sometimes I hate what I do. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes I'm like, man, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. But then I'm like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm like, dude, I love what I do. You know, so every single day when circumstances or obstacles slap me in the face, you know, I never lose eye contact on what I'm doing. You know, it's like, you know, I kind of use this analogy about boxing. You know, these boxers, you know, they hit pretty hard. You know. But the main thing that makes a good boxer different from a great boxer is that a great boxer, you can hit him straight in the face, he will never break eye contact with you. So what makes a good entrepreneur from a bad entrepreneur is that good entrepreneurs, they can get hit in the face and they'll look away. Great entrepreneurs, when they get hit in the face, they never break eye contact with their goals and their dreams.
I dig it. All right. Man, okay, hold on. When you were a kid, what did you see yourself doing when you grew up?
You know, I'm extremely fortunate, especially for my childhood. I grew up with two amazing parents, four amazing sisters. I grew up in a household where I wasn't, frowned upon. I was always uplifted, always. My parents always gave me the freedom to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. Like, they gave me the freedom to follow my heart and follow my intuition and follow my gut. But as a kid, again, I'm the youngest of four sisters, so I was the annoying brother. My sisters never wanted to be around me. They never wanted to take care of me because I was the annoying brother. So my parents were forced me to take me with them to conventions and seminars and extravaganzas. And so at an early age, I got to see that. And I was like, man, if I could be on that stage, that would mean the world to me. And I got to just think of myself, as those people on stage. And and they all started from going to those meetings, from going to the seminars. I mean, don't get me wrong, I hated going because I was the only kid there. I was the one sitting all the way in the back of the room, just sitting on the floor, just watching and listening. But it was like seeds being planted into my mind, into my heart, seeds of giving and seeds of growing and seeds of just being there present for people, that really sparked the idea of me wanting to, have my own business. So, at the age of 17, that's when that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to do the whole Herbalife game, with network marketing and people have to understand that, like, you have to try different things to understand what you like.
Very true.
You just have to, if you try just one thing and you say, I love this, well, yeah, obviously, because that's the only thing you've ever done. But if you do 10 different things, you can kind of say, hey, you know what? This made me depressed, and this made me so happy to do. I want to do this, So, but I mean, for me, like Cedric, as corny as this may sound, like, I never saw myself having a boss.
I believe it.
I just never did. I feel like my mind is so open that I cannot be caged. I would feel like a lion trapped at a zoo.
Okay.
Where I'm caged, where I have to be outdoors. I have to be doing something. I can't just be in between four walls all the time and somebody, pointing their finger at me and saying, hey, you got to do this. Hey, you got to clock in, you got to clock out. Hey, you know what? You can't take vacation time because you have to work.
Yes.
I never want to be that guy that has to go to your boss respectfully and say, hey, I busted my ass, for the past 10 months. And I feel I deserve a raise. Right. I feel right now as an entrepreneur that if I want a raise, I got to go get myself my own raise. I don't ask anybody to give me a raise.
Right.
So entrepreneurship, it's not for everybody.
It's not.
And people have to understand that there are some people who are meant to be business owners who can undertake the obstacles and the challenges. And there's some people who make amazing, extraordinary employees.
They do. Yeah.
So you kind of just have to know, where you stand. Saying like, hey, look, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to know you're going to sacrifice time with your family, time with your friends. You're going to probably lose yourself. Right. It's going to be one of the hardest battles you're ever going to undergo because it's a battle between you and you. Yeah. There's going to be times that you tell yourself, I cannot do it. I don't want to do it anymore. I'm tired of doing this. I've had enough of this. But then there's going to be other times where you're going to tell yourself, man, I'm so glad I did not give up on my dreams.
It's cool, right?
It's cool. It is cool, man. It's really cool.
On that note about not having a boss, if I remember correctly, you were given a scholarship.
Yes.
To college.
Yeah, in high school.
And what happened with your scholarship?
So in high school, I've always been an athlete my entire life. I played baseball from the ages of 4 to 16, and that's when after that I started running cross country and track, and I got great at track. Went to state. And I had a scholarship to go to LSU in Louisiana, and it was a 2-year scholarship, and I turned it down. I turned it down. I was the only runner in my team to turn down a scholarship, just because I look at my life 5-10 years from now, and I didn't see myself trying to compete to go to the Olympics. Respectfully, those athletes, they dedicate their life for those events.
Yes.
For me, I saw what I did as an amazing sport, something that taught me so much, but I didn't see it as something that I was going to dedicate my life to.
Hmm.
So I would rather give up my spot and give it to somebody else who does see themselves doing something like that. I saw myself going into business and you know, and doing that aspect of life. Now, don't get me wrong. Like whenever I went into business, it forced me to grow up extremely fast.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
extremely fast. You know, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, I give up parties, I give up this, I give up girls, I give up like with entrepreneurship, like and owning your own business, like you're gonna have to sacrifice a lot of things. Yeah. Point blank. Mm-hmm. You know, so that's why I said earlier, you know, it's for some people, it's not for everybody. You know, they said there is a true statistic that, you know, what is it, about 9 out of 10 businesses go out of business. You know, and I take that to heart. When I first started, I was like, I am not going to be that 9. I'm going to be that 1. You know, and so that's always been my inspiration to keep going, like, because of the fear. Mm-hmm. You know, fear is what drives me.
Fear drives you?
Fear.
Fear of what?
Fear of losing.
Okay.
I cannot lose.
I dig it. Okay. What are some mistakes you made when you first started your business? I know you named some. Are there any other mistakes you made?
Yes. When I first started my business, I had no clue what I was doing. Absolutely no clue. And for people who do start a business, you're gonna have those moments where you're not gonna know what you're doing. You're just trying to do something. But I wasn't clear on what I wanted. All I wanted to do was just make it to the point that I can pay my bills and pay me a little bit of money. I wasn't looking to like be this mega millionaire in a year or two, but I was just looking to make it, to not go out of business, to know that I am responsible enough, even though, you know, besides my age, that I am responsible enough to take a business and make it something. You know, so whenever I first started, I had no clue what I was doing, so I didn't have a game plan. I didn't have marketing skills. I didn't know how to market. I thought marketing was passing out flyers. That is not how you do it. Trust me, that's not how you do it. I didn't get a sign on my building until about a year after I opened my business. People didn't even know what I was or who I was when I first started. You know, I would take out gym equipment and put it outside to make it seem like a gym. Yes. People thought I was selling gym equipment. You know, gotcha. You know, it was those things. You know, so it was definitely a rough beginning. But you know, again, you know, you just have to learn as you go.
About that sign, I saw you endure without a sign. Can you refresh my memory? How were you able to finally get this sign approved?
Well, so like when I first came in here, you know, again, in business, that there's so many things than just opening up your doors. You know, there's different permits and there's different just a lot of stuff. So whenever I first got a sign, you know, I didn't have a permit for it. So obviously I didn't have a permit for it. It's either I get fined or I got to take it down. Right. You know, and I had stuff on my window, so I had to take all that stuff down. I spent like about $2,000 on that. Yeah. Wipe me clean. I didn't have any more money. And so since I couldn't afford a sign, and I was, you know, so busy trying to pay my bills here, pay my overhead, that, you know, I decided to save up for a full year. I saved up until I was able to fully, you know, being able to afford a sign to actually put on the building, you know. And I went through a lot of stuff, you know. I contacted this person in July to get my sign, you know, ready and done. I didn't get it installed until December of 2017. Okay. So about 6 months. So there's going to be different timelines that you're going to miss, you know, because not because you're in control, but because, you know, there's going to be some things that you have absolute zero control of. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. So you have to learn to control the controllables and leave everything else to God or to faith, or, you know, to whatever it is that you want. But you have to learn how to control the things that you can control. That's good.
Okay. Why do you recommend buying a franchise instead of going solo?
The reason why I definitely recommend buying a franchise is because, don't get me wrong, everybody has the right to start their business from scratch. I totally believe that, just how I did. Okay. The thing about a franchise is that it's a roadmap that's already been laid out for you. the groundwork, the grunt work, the sacrifice, the loss of investment, the loss of money, it's already been done, where you don't have to figure it out on your own. It's already been figured out for you.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to a franchise, you're a part of a team. You're a part of a group of people, you know, who are truly just trying to grow and trying to help other people. Because again, you know, any business, you're trying to help people because people buy from people. People don't buy from companies.
True.
So when it comes to franchising, I think it's just because of the roadmap that's laid out for you. Mm-hmm. You have the support system, you have the back work, you have the know-how of what to do and how to do it. Mm-hmm. So it takes time and effort away from you from having to figure it out on your own.
I believe. So you're doing something that's so amazing to me. You're actually franchising your business, correct?
Yes.
What happened?
You're out of storage.
Oh, it's okay. I'm recording on mine. So how could someone that's interested in franchising within Invisible Fitness go about it?
So say it one more time.
So if, let's say I'm interested in franchising, mm-hmm. and somebody come to you and say, "Hey, Gerardo, I would like to be a franchisee of Invincible Fitness." How would they go about it?
Okay, yeah, you know, for one, you know, it's like it's almost like an application.
Okay.
You know, before I tell you anything about the business, I want to make sure that we're a good match to begin with. I'm not going to sell, you know, or offer my business model to just anybody. Okay. I need to offer it to somebody who has the right intentions, who has the right meaning behind it. That, you know, obviously, you know, you want to help people, but at the same time, you want to make a great, you know, you want to get paid well, so that way you can support yourself and your family, which which anybody does deserve. So, for one, you know, we'll start with the application process. You know, and it's, you know, how much business experience do you have? Why is it that you want to do it? You know, how much liquid capital do you have? You know, how much is you know, your net worth? You know, after that, you know, we'll kind of go through like the pitch area, where, you know, I kind of share with you exactly what we do and why we do it, mm-hmm. and what the vision is of Invincible Fitness and what's the mission, mm-hmm. you know. And if that matches up with you, then we just take it a step further by, you know, letting you review the FDD, which is the franchise disclosure document, which kind of lays out, you know, basically everything that we have, what we offer, our franchise fee, our royalty fee, mm-hmm. Exactly, you know, what is the recommendation of what, you know, your job is, mm-hmm. you know, as an owner or operator, or as just an owner and you hire a manager, mm-hmm. you know, so many things come into play, but before we get to any of that, it's just to make sure that we're the correct fit for each other.
Okay, perfect. Last question: what advice would you give someone who is struggling in their business?
When it comes to somebody struggling in their business, it's because of two things. One is because they're being lazy.
Okay. And
they're not doing the things that are necessary to make their business go forward, mm-hmm. or to kind of like push the needle forward, or you know, kind of like, you know, turn the needle just a little bit, you know, to the right. And number two, I think it's because they still don't get it, is that it's not about them. It's about their customers.
Right.
The customers always come first. The customers are like the CEO.
Okay.
Because the customer can literally stop paying your business for your services or your products and give their money to somebody else, your competitor or whoever it may be. So they're in control. You're the producer, but they're the consumer. The consumer is always first. Because without the consumers, there is no producers. And I go back to, you know, being lazy. A lot of people, like for instance, myself, when I first started, all I wanted to do was keep busy. I wanted to stay busy. Mm. But staying busy and being proactive are two different things. Mm-hmm. You can be busy on the wrong things, but you can be proactive on the right things.
Yes.
So I would say to honestly buckle down, mm-hmm. and know what you have to do. And just tell yourself, and just write down 5 things that you have to do for that day, the next day, the following day, and just keep doing that over and over and over again. In business, you have to be consistent.
Yes.
There is no, I'm going to clock in, I'm going to clock out whenever I want. Because why? Because I own the business? No, it doesn't work like that. Now, you have 20 years in, maybe you can do that. Mm-hmm. But if you're first starting out, you have to hit the pavement.
That's right.
Go, run it.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, you have to you have to be present with your customers. You have to be present with your business. You have to, again, you have to be willing to sacrifice so much for it. Mm-hmm. But you have to not tell yourself as to why you can't do it, because I promise you, if somebody else can do it, if you look at a business owner and you look at them in their eyes, you're gonna see a lot of pain that they've been through. Right. Yeah. You're gonna see a lot of problems that they've been through. You're gonna see a lot of challenges that they've been through. Yeah. But they're there. They're standing in front of you. Mm-hmm. It didn't kill them.
Right.
It made them stronger. So if they can do it, so can you.
True.
But you have to know that you're gonna embark on a journey that's going to test you in ways that you never imagined. There's going to be times that you lose yourself. There's going to be times where you're stressed out so much where you lose sleep.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying this to scare people. Mm-hmm. I just like to be real with people. Being a business owner is not, I'm going to buy a course online for $200 and then I'm just going to be this, this mega star.
Right.
It doesn't happen that way.
Right.
Being an entrepreneur is okay, like, why am I doing this? Now, when it gets hard, am I going to keep doing it? Sure. There's a story, of this guy, came into my gym, about a couple months ago. And he was a young kid, about 14, 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And he told me what he wanted to do. And I took an interest in him because it reminded me so much of me, because I was that kid. I was that kid that said, it's okay. I was that kid that said, I want to do this. I want to do that. I was always that kid. So whenever he told me that he wanted to do this, I was like, well, whatever I can do to help you, I'll do it. Pay it forward, right? Mm-hmm. The difference is that he had all the excuses in the world as to why he couldn't do it. Okay. Right. He said, I bought this course for $1,000 online. I know how to market. I know how to advertise. I said, okay, I'm going to give you a shot. So I gave him access to my platforms, my Instagram, my Facebook, my marketing, everything. Obviously with, me, being present with him, but I wanted him to be in control. I wanted him to see if he can do it.
Right.
Gave him a couple of days to kind of figure it out. And when he came back, he said, all right, I got it. Let's go ahead and launch this advertising ad. I said, okay, cool. Let's launch it. I'll spend my money. You don't want to spend anything. I'll do it. He said, cool. The ad, when I looked at it, I had my customers send me screenshots. And when I looked at the screenshot, words were misspelled. It honestly looked like a 14-year-old kid wrote it. And so I said to him, I said, look, it's one thing whenever you read it in your mind, because your mind is going to play tricks with you. Your mind is going to read it the way how you want to read it. But whenever you say it out, like when you say it verbally, it's going to come out a little bit different. But then I told him too, I said, look, how long were you messing with advertising? He said, well, before I met you, about 2 or 3 weeks. And I told him, I said, look, you are not going to learn how to be a professional advertiser in 3 or 4 weeks. You're just not.
It took me 5 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
so and that's what I was trying to tell him. And I said, look, what were you doing when you weren't messing with it? He said, well, what do you mean? I said, what were you doing when you weren't messing around with it? Because I can tell that you weren't messing around with it because it looks like shit. Yeah. He said, well, I was playing video games with one of my friends. I said, yeah, man, you don't have it right now. Yeah. Okay. And so when he told me that, I said, man, you just don't have it. Not that you won't have it later on, you just don't have it right now. Just because you make yourself an Instagram profile and says that you're an advertiser does not mean that you're an advertiser. It's true. Just because you can create a business page on Facebook or on Instagram does not mean that you own a business.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Mostly, and then to top it off, to kind of wrap it up, whenever he asked for me, because I asked him, I said, before I even met him, I was just on the phone, before he came in here, I met him in person. And he told me, he's like, yeah, I'm this advertiser. I do this, I do that. I said, cool. I said, well, how much do you charge for your services? He says, well, my prices, vary. I said, okay, well, about how much? He said, well, I can charge you anywhere between $500 to about $2,500 a month. I said, okay. So maybe this guy knows what he's doing. So that's why I invited him to come. And whenever I saw him, he was a 14-year-old kid. I said, okay, well, how much experience do you have? He said, oh, I just started about 3 weeks ago. I said, so, and I wasn't talking to him like a 14-year-old. I wasn't talking to him like he was a kid. I talked to him like he was a grown-ass man. I said, you have no right to come into my business and pitch me $500 to $2,500 a month when you have zero experience. I said, how many customers do you have? Well, I don't have any yet. I said, just because you read on a book of how much you're supposed to charge for these type of services does not give you the right to charge for those services. What you should do for about a good solid year is work for free.
Yeah.
Work for free, because when you work for free, it'll teach you a lot of stuff than when you're being paid. And I haven't seen him since.
You haven't?
No.
Well.
And the reason why
hopefully he can go and get his $1,000 back on the course.
Hopefully. But
okay.
But again, like, I said to say is that, most people will not be willing to sacrifice time.
Right. It's true.
They say, I'm not getting paid. Oh, I'm not doing it then.
Yeah.
I said, well, then you're just money hungry. You just want it because because you're going to get paid. Like, no, you should be doing because you want to learn.
I like it.
When I first started working for the gyms, I was working for free.
Yeah. And please point that out, because it ties to why you told the young man to work a year for free. So how long did you work for free?
I worked for almost a year for free in the gyms.
Yeah.
I was a guy, I was a guy taking out the trash, clean the floors, clean the equipment, talking to members, signing up members. I did all that for a year, almost for a year for free.
Right. And today you own a gym.
Exactly.
I like it. All right. So let's wrap it up. Gerardo, I appreciate it. Oh, you got to tell people how to get here if they want to come get a good workout.
Oh, yeah. So the Invincible Fitness Gym, we are located in Magnolia, Texas. It's zip code. The address is actually 18252 FM 1488, Magnolia, Texas, and the zip code is 77354. We're in the same shopping center as Napa Auto Parts, which is it's a big blue building. Can't miss it. But yeah, we're 24 hours, so you come whenever you want.
All right. Thanks, Gerardo.
Thanks.
Take care, brother.